Live. Aristotle Full Throttle here. Thank you guys for joining me. This is so much fun. Hanging out at home, hanging out with you. This is great. It's like we've never been closer, actually. Now we get to do all the things that we always wanted to do, like knit a sweater. I've always not wanted to knit a sweater, but now we're only forced to knit sweaters. Every single one of us. Now going live on Instagram. Now we're live on Instagram. What's up, guys? Aristotle Full Throttle here. It's a bit of a redundancy if you're already a subscriber to my YouTube channel, aristotlefullthrottle.com. You can go there, subscribe, leave a comment, hang out. I just got a notification that I went live through my own Instagram. Thank you, Instagram. That's a triple redundancy. Not only am I live on YouTube, I'm live on Instagram, and we're going to talk about heroes, movie heroes. From Atticus Finch to Atticus Ross. All the Atticuses we'll get to them. It'll be great. And every character named Boo. Aristotle Full Throttle here. If you're watching on YouTube, please leave a like. Helps the algorithm, makes me feel special, makes me think that you like this. Kara Maulid. How do you say that, Kara? Maulid? Kara? Jaffe, what's up? Thank you for joining us. You guys are stalwarts. You guys are in the know. And I'm your bro in the know with the fro. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about heroes today. I want to hear, Rose, I want to hear what your heroes are. Who your heroes are in real life and who your heroes are in the movies. And don't you wish that people could be as heroic as they are in the movies? Jimmy James Cordova, father to be, joining us. Hello, waving to you. Thank you for joining us. My favorite superhero. Who's your favorite Marvel superhero? Out of all the Marvel heroes, who do you like the most or who do you hate the least? Let's say that. Could be anybody. Grab your coffee. Come hang out. What's up, Notorious DIT? We're talking about movie heroes. I know you. We're going to talk about our favorite heroes in life, our favorite heroes in movies, and why can't people... why is it that every time I shoot someone, the bullet doesn't bounce off? This is the question. Hey, Kara. So there's a simulcast happening right here on YouTube. So we're going to ask questions on both platforms, answer questions to everybody. My favorite Marvel hero is, and I'm going to say it, I don't know if it's obvious already, but it's Captain Marvel. No, I'm just kidding. Captain Marvel is all right. She's just overpowered. She has too many powers. I think that maybe we should cut back on some of those powers, which is what they thought. That's what the writers thought in the movie, too. They were like, let's not make her so powerful. Let's literally just put a governor on her powers for the whole movie as a plot point, and then just remove that governor so that she can be superpowered. Hey, Kelsey, Alabama. The entire state of Alabama has joined us. We're talking about movie heroes, heroines. I liked Wonder Woman. Did you guys like Wonder Woman? I grew up watching Wonder Woman. Perhaps for reasons a young boy would watch Wonder Woman. I did enjoy that show. Linda Carter will always be Wonder Woman to me. Is this Will joining us every day like a champion? Every single day at noon we do this because what else? What better thing is there to do? First of all, second rule of Aristotle Full Throttle is the same as the second rule of Fight Club. Kara likes Wonder Woman. I liked Wonder Woman. You know, I thought it was pretty funny that in the movie Wonder Woman, she had to... It turns out that Gal Gadot has an Israeli accent. So she, she works with that. She uses that to her advantage when she plays characters. So when she plays Wonder Woman, she comes from a far-off land, But when they made the movie Wonder Woman, they had to reverse engineer all of the accents of the people who live in the far off land so that they all sounded like Gal Gadot. So everybody had to learn how to talk like her, which I thought was funny. I think that's comedy. It's as if, not that her accent is funny, just that everybody had to learn her idiolect, which is the way that one person speaks. And why is this in the World Peril Avengers? They all show up. See? Yep, same level of threat in solo movies. Yeah, right? Why don't the Avengers help each other out when the world is in trouble, when it's like, say, Thor the Dark World? Where was everyone else? Sleeping? Where was Tony Stark? On his yacht? These guys, they're like, Thor can handle this threat. It's not like it's Thanos or anything. It's not like it's the entire universe at peril, just the Earth. I say Earth. You know, I did like that little plot point also in Avengers Endgame, because Captain Marvel, super overpowered, super duper extra strength Captain Marvel. They, it's somewhere in the beginning third of the movie, she's like, I have to leave and go to other planets. And they're like, aren't you the most powerful superhero ever that could just stop anything from happening to the Earth? And she's like, oh, well, you know, the same thing that's happening here is happening everywhere. So, and not everywhere has you guys. So she was leaving it up to a raccoon to defend the planet Earth. Linda Carter is the archetype for beauty. I agree. She's also pretty cool. I'm just guessing. Linda Fiorentino in Gotcha. Linda Fiorentino is pretty rad. She hasn't been in a movie in a while, though, that I've seen, but she's good. She's really good. She reminds me of New York. I'm from New York, and she reminds me of every lady from New York. Kind of miss New York right now. Wouldn't want to be there. It's the epicenter of this whole coronavirus situation, which, by the way, update on my parents. My father is cleared to go back to work on Monday, so my parents will live to see another virus. I'm very excited about this. Very happy that my parents are not mortally ill. They are recovering. They are going to be fine. They had the old corona. They had the old Rona because they live in New York. And that's what you do when you're in New York. You get sick from the coronavirus. Well, my parents were extraordinarily careful. My mom was home for a month before they got it. My father had a job that is considered essential and had to go to work. But they kept everyone apart. Doesn't matter, guys. They gave everybody sterile instruments to use. They gave everybody masks and gloves. Doesn't matter. Just stay the F away from each other. My parents still caught it. My father was taking every other day off from work to try to avoid catching it. He was desanitizing. He was in like a decontamination chamber when he got home. My mom would basically have him like disrobe and then go into the shower. Doesn't matter, guys. Just follow the measures. Be careful. The social distancing measures have not changed. Just the wearing the goofy mask is fun now. So you don't touch your own face or you don't spread it to other people as much. Masks aren't that effective, guys. Or at least the face coverings. No Man's Land scene in Wonder Woman was very inspiring, maybe the most heroic moment in modern comic book movies. Yeah, I know there's people who didn't like Wonder Woman, and I don't understand. I don't understand when people don't like the things that I like. This is what we're teaching here on Aristotle Full Throttle. We're teaching people tolerance, empathy, critical thinking. This is what we want more of in the world. So we can respectfully disagree on things. I'm glad that I'm actually getting my view of this channel. Actually, Notorious DIT, if you put me on YouTube and your phone and Quigley Down Under, I get at least 2/3 of that view share. He's watching Quigley Down Under, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you remember this movie, but it stars Magnum PI. Magnum PI is in Quigley Down Under. And that was the beginning ish and end ish of Magnum PI's movie career, if you forget about Three Men and a Baby and Three Men and a Little Lady. Those were classics. They're classics, actually. Directed by Leonard Nimoy, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this. That's why you come here to Aristotle Full Throttle, you bro, in the know with the fro. Three Men and a Baby was directed by Leonard Nimoy. Spock. Pretty good. Aristotle back at Full Throttle. Thank you, Will. I appreciate that. I'm going to spread that along to my parents, and they might even give the answer, huh? Which is fine. No, I kid. My parents are with it. They're pretty funny. The third act of Wonder Woman is justifiably infuriating. Tom Selleck. He's one of the three men. Is Tom Selleck one of our heroes? Ooh, here's a hot take. Notorious DIT says Marvel has better heroes, DC has better villains. But do they, though? Are the big CGI yelly monster villains... Perhaps in the comic books, yeah. I think in the comic books they do. I think the movies, though, they got... What's his name? Steppenwolf. He was not born to be wild. But he was born to be semi-mild in the Justice League movie. Which, by the way, I thought was pretty watchable. I might watch Justice League later. I did like the rise of the resurrection of Superman in that movie, which was pretty cool. I mean, it kind of made sense. They were like, his cells don't decay. Let's just use this magic box and electricity. I read it in a book by Mary Shelley. And, yeah. Pet Sematary. That was a good reference. You could tell that was the part of the movie that the what's the guy's name? I'll give you. You're already gonna know it. It's like Jeopardy. You're shouting the answer at the screen. Joss Whedon wrote. That's the part of the movie that Joss Whedon wrote. Marvel better heroes. Yes, I agree, because I think the Marvel heroes are more human. Arguably, the DC heroes are archetypal gods. They all have one super strong power. They're kind of invincible. They cannot be vinced. Not one bit. And sometimes. I mean, there's lots of punching that goes on between the DC heroes and not a lot of damage. The Marvel heroes seem like they could die. Captain America looked like he was on his last leg at the end of Endgame when he got stabbed through the leg and through the arm, and his shield was busted up, and he had a bloody lip. Also, Cap was not gonna. That's a hero to me. A hero is a guy who, when his buddies are knocked out and an entire army starts to assemble across from you, and you've just got a busted shield and a busted leg and a busted arm, but then you just kind of get up and you suck it up and you start walking toward it. Guys, it's like Rocky says. It's not about getting knocked down. It's how many times you can get back up after you got knocked down. Something like that. I just got an email from Lee Boxleitner. Let me see what that email says. Lee Boxleitner is one of my heroes. The Boxleitner brothers. Notorious DIT, hero of mine. Watches Quigley Down Under and this show. You can do both, turns out. Red Skull was wasted, the leader. Ooh, the leader. Yeah, the leader was at the end of the Hulk. The Hulk movie that came out about 10 years ago. The leader, played by that actor who I love, by the way, who ended up playing Mirror Face in The Watchmen. He was good. You guys think the Watchmen heroes are good? What do you guys think of Dr. Manhattan? Captain Dr. Manhattan. Captain Admiral Dr. Manhattan, Rear Admiral. I thought that was good. What's up, Tinio? Tinio is joining us. Tinio is a aficionado of many comic books. She is also a camera operator extraordinaire and aficionado of many things. She's a curator, of sorts. So we should ask her expert opinion on some of these things. Tinio, the other Christina Ortiz, what did you think? First of all, what did you think of Watchmen, the sequel series that was on HBO? My opinion, personally, is that it was the greatest season of TV ever. That might be a bit hyperbolic, but it was. I don't know. I'd like you to change my mind on that. We were just talking about Tom Selleck, so things are just going to probably get better from there. Thank you, Tatiana Wilkinson, for the yay parents. My parents are happy. They're feeling close to back to normal, which is a relief. It was really stressful learning that they caught the coronavirus and how it's novel, and there's no... The novel part of it is nobody understands it. Isn't that novel? So be careful, guys. Wash your hands. Wash your face. And play a little piano here. The HBO Watchmen. Uh-oh, you have yet... Will. All right. We're not going to spoil Watchmen. We're going to give our overall opinion on it. We're not going to spoil this for Will. Will is a champion. He has been... Will Champion. Will Champion's the drummer for Coldplay. Little fact nugget there. But Will's been here all the time. Will's a stalwart of Aristotle Full Throttle. He's been watching the show for years now. Can you believe that? For years now. But yeah, we don't want to spoil this for Will. I'd like to see your genuine opinion. Because, we got another one missed. Watchmen on HBO. Definitely watch... Christina Ortiz did not watch Watchmen yet. Nobody's watched Watchmen yet. Good golly, guys. I even got my brother to start watching Watchmen, and he doesn't even like, quote, superhero movies. It's definitely really excellent. And they I don't think are making a third or second season. Technically, it is a sequel to the Alan Moore book from the 80s. It is a straight sequel. So it takes place in real time. So basically about within the last 10 years up until now. As if that world that we were left with at the end of Watchmen continued forward. And it's pretty excellent. So that is definitely a recommended watch while you're in quarantine. Watchmen. They're not going to make a second season because it was just too good. And it's like, why ruin something that was really... just so expertly made. Yeah, there are so many streaming platforms. What I did was like during Game of Thrones would have HBO, or during, XYZ, then get that. I've got the free year of Disney Plus, because if you have Verizon, you get a free year of Disney Plus, so I'm on that. And then gonna pick up the $6.99 a month or whatever it is. But that's how they get you. They're like, it's only it's $3.90. We're gonna give it to you. Here you go. It's free. We will pay you to take this, and then you don't check your bill one month, and they charged you $4,000. That's what happens. That's how they get you. I don't mind it though. Sometimes there's some quality entertainment, and I don't recommend illegally downloading things, but you can. You can do that. I'm not recommending it, but it is a possibility, definitely. I don't recommend it, but do it. You did watch Picard because Claire is a big Star Trek nerd. I'm also a big Star Trek nerd. What did you think of Picard? I actually haven't even started Picard yet. I know it's week to week. They release it one episode a week. Um, but I haven't started it. See, yeah, the 30-day CBS All Access. I did that for Star Trek Discovery. Was it Discovery? What's the new one? I think it's Discovery. Um, I got about 6 episodes into that. It was interesting. I liked the character that the tall dude with the neck plays. He always plays an alien, and he also plays a fishman in the movie My Falling in Love with the Fishman, I think it's called. It was directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it won the Best Picture a few years ago. It was called I Love the Fishman, I'm pretty sure. And the guy with the long, crazy neck, he always plays an alien. He played an alien in Falling Skies, which I thought was a great show. And I don't know if it's still on. Had like Noah Wyle in it. And he was like an ER doctor, but on a battlefield in the future of post-apocalyptic Earth being attacked by aliens. I watched Picard first, and then watched all 4 of the movies that came out before it. And I could see how the lead up to those movies is the world that Picard is in today. So does it... So I guess it does... Huh. Do you mean the Next Generation movies? So that would be Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis that you watched up until Picard series. Okay. Interesting. So I guess it just circumvents, because the JJ verse allows for this universe to play out, and then it starts it over again in a parallel universe. So this is, I guess, just the future of the original series, the ultimate future. Finally going back to watching the Enterprise series, man. The theme song is so bad. Yeah, the theme song is like the poor man's Bruce Springsteen's John Cougar Mellencamp's Frank Stallone. That's that song for you. It is definitely bad. But I think I guess the early 2000s, late 90s had a lot of those types of sort of in earnest guys singing. Oh, good golly. I'm just thinking of Rocky soundtracks. It kind of sounds like a song off a Rocky soundtrack. Rocky soundtracks are Eye of the Tiger, then Gonna Fly Now, and then about 15 terrible songs with like some 80s guy singing. Yeah, Netflix does give you that skip option, which is good. Falling Skies is free on our library stream. Oh, cool. So you can watch Falling Skies as a part of your library membership. Wow. I should get a library card. That's pretty neat. So how many episodes of Picard is there? Did they all come out at once, or is it like weekly? I do want to watch Picard. I don't want to miss a thing, but a dudier version of I don't want to miss a thing is Will's comparison of the Enterprise theme song, which is true. I don't want to miss a thing, however, was written by the singer from Four Non Blondes. She's an incredible songwriter. Well, she's a very consistent hit-writing songwriter. Let's see what the songs that she wrote. She wrote that song. She wrote I Am Beautiful. Da 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 da. That song. She's Linda Perry. Linda Perry. She's a great songwriter, or a very successful songwriter. Depends on how you think of that. I don't know if Falling Skies actually finished. Notorious D.I.T. I actually did want to watch the rest of Falling Skies. I was involved. It seemed to be developing into the Walking Dead of alien TV shows. So everybody's got to find the new genre that's created when there's like a cool show that comes out. It just opens up a whole genre of versions of that type of show. Like after Breaking Bad, there were like a million Breaking Bads. After Lost, there was a million Losts. After Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, there was a bunch of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire types of shows. The Weakest Link and all that. So it's funny how that works. I don't think Falling Sky's finished. 10 episodes of Picard are out there. Oh, well, I know what I'm doing today. Friday night, Picard, and maybe I'll play guitar. This is how we party now in the future. I'm gonna go back to my past self and explain. Hey, you know how you like to never see anybody? Now you get to do that all the time. Actually, it's not true. I do like seeing people. The two things I miss the most right now are people and taco trucks. That's the thing. Like, I'm with you on that, Notorious DIT. I don't like to watch a show that will never finish. That's why I can't get back into watching Hannibal, the TV series. It was so excellent that first season. I got in 2 episodes into the second season. I think it's only 2 seasons long. And I was like, wow, this show just shot so incredibly well, and it's acted well, and it's compelling, and then they just canceled it because nobody was watching it. And so I can't even bring myself to finish it. Also, another show like that I can't go back to, but I want to, Pushing Daisies, because I hear that I only got a couple episodes into the second season, and then it got canceled, but it was such a well-done show. Why don't people watch the shows that people put a lot of effort into? There's the shows that are kind of crap that people they'll eat up. Not crap, but they're just quickly made. Okay, so all the 10 episodes are out. I'm going to watch that. Future Man. I haven't watched Future Man. Mandalorian. Now, Mandalorian's an interesting hero because I like the idea that there's this whole other group in the Star Wars universe that they fully neglected in the sequels, which this is how the Star Wars sequel should have went. All right. I hope George Lucas is listening. I hope Bob Iger is listening. I hope President Hollywood is listening. Yeah, let's all share the CBS login info right here. That's funny. Actually, Andy Samberg shared his login for HBO Go one time on the Emmys or something, and then crashed HBO's site or something. Pretty funny. But the Star Wars sequels should have involved the fact that the Empire fell, and now there's a power vacuum, and people like bounty hunters and Mandalorians are fighting with the remnants of the Empire, are fighting with the rising rebellion or the new republic. And it should have been like a 3-way battle. It should have been a 3-way. I don't know why they didn't just do that. They should have just had a big Star Wars 3-way. I hope they take that out of context. Time-traveling cyborg bounty hunter. The Picard DeLorean. I like that. Will says if you combine Mandalorian and Picard, you get Picard DeLorean. Yeah, I actually made a Photoshop before I realized everybody on the internet already made this Photoshop of the Mandalorian, but his head is a DeLorean, so it said the Mandalorian, but like the DeLorean from Back to the Future, you know? It's really funny. It's really funny. And you know how it's funny? Because I said it's really funny. And that's how jokes work. My favorite is when you tell a joke to someone and then they just go, that's funny. I forgot that Robin was doing a live DJ set at noon. I'll catch you later. Okay. Listen, Robin, fine. Fine. Okay, I'll let you go watch Robin and I'll let you go watch Quigley Down Under. But me, And these other heroes are going to say that, not that I can compete with Robin, but maybe I'll do her dance. Maybe I will dance like Robin for the next 30 minutes on this podcast or whatever it is, live cast. But enjoy that. Thank you, TDO, for joining us and giving us your insight. Please let us know, before you go, let us know your favorite superhero of all time with no explanation. Just drop it in there in the comment. Let's see. Tyson is on both platforms. Thank you for doing that. Remember to like the video. That helps. That definitely helps. And you can follow on Twitter and Instagram. Instagram it all. Say hi to Claire. Have a good one. Hope your quarantines are supreme. I hope you're having a supreme quarantine. We're all going to look back at this time. Hawkeye. Oh, controversial. Tinio just dropped that in like a bomb. And now we're going to discuss the merits and the demerits of Hawkeye. We'll let you know how it goes. Both of them, both Hawkeyes. So doesn't his daughter become Hawkeye? I know that I'm just guessing from the beginning of Endgame when he calls his daughter Hawkeye and he's teaching her how to do all the arrow shooting. Yet just yesterday we were talking about how I was talking with my friends about how Jeremy Renner isn't really like I love Hawkeye. I love his character Hawkeye. I love his representation of Hawkeye. However, Jeremy Renner isn't the reason you necessarily go see a movie. You don't go, hey, the new Jeremy Renner movie's out, guys. You want to go see it? There's like a Jason Bourne movie, except it's got Jeremy Renner instead of Jason Bourne. But he's very fine and capable. The tech behind the shoot is for The Mandalorian is the future of the film industry, especially in the post-pandemic times ahead. You are absolutely right about that, Tyson. That is something that I'm actually really excited to see that they can do right now. And if you don't know what Tyson's talking about, they have these parallax types of 360-degree LED stages now, where every angle that you look with the camera, the entire background shifts in actual perspective as if you were in a real environment. So to the actors on the stage, it kind of looks bizarre, but they can at least interact with. They could be in the middle of the desert. They could be in the middle of a city. They could be in the middle of any type of environment. And it's the actual lighting is practical because the LEDs are basically shining the light of the environment onto all the surfaces. So it's accurate. It's temperature accurate. Everything is lined up. It's pretty amazing. I'm very excited about this, as you could tell. And the fun thing about it is they can update and move around CGI objects in that background instantly. So basically, before in the next, I gotta flip that screen back around. So basically, you can tweak the set and the perspective at any time, like moments before the actors walk on stage. Before you had to build sets and stuff like that, which is still very important to have interactive pieces and props and sets and set pieces and whatnot. I guess set piece is a different term, but it's pretty neat. Guys, check that out on YouTube. Maybe I'll leave a link to that stuff below. They did some cool stuff like that in Oblivion, where they lit Tom Cruise's ship, his little spaceship, from like 360 degrees, so it looked like he was actually in among the clouds, as my best friend would say. My best friend, Lando Calrissian. Lando Calrissian is my biological father. What's up, Boss Level 8? Boss Level 8, guys. Check them out. Follow them. They're funny guys. They do reviews of reviews. And they're funny guys. Miss you guys. Hope you guys are doing okay on lockdown. If you're Hollywood is in a weird spot, but Tyson does mention that we're going to be using this 360 type of crazy parallax virtual sets as a way to not touch anything ever again. We can't touch things. We can't touch other people. We can't touch taco trucks. I miss taco trucks. Tatiana Wilkinson's favorite heroes, because we're talking about heroes today on Aristotle Full Throttle. Aristotle Full Throttle, you can follow me on Instagram, because you are already watching it on Instagram. Or if you're watching on YouTube right now, it's a live stream. Like the video, share the stream, comment below if you're watching the video version of this, the DVR'd version, if you will. And, this is what I'm doing. This is what we do here, because this is basically my life and my job now on account of pandemics. But we're going to go back to Tatiana Wilkinson's favorite heroes in order. Batman. Pretty good. I like Batman. Not my favorite hero. However, I could see why he is he's the favorite of many, because he is the world's most dangerous man. He's dangerous. He's Batman. He's a tough talking detective. He's a private dick, that Batman. Very private. But I like Batman because he provides a contrast to someone like Superman. I was saying this yesterday. You need a Superman. You need a central beacon of light to measure your other heroes against in order for them to have any kind of significant qualities. Because if Batman is dark and Superman is dark and Aquaman is dark and Wonder Woman is dark, everybody's just different shades of gray. There are 50 shades of gray going on there. Spider-Man might be my favorite superhero. Definitely my favorite superhero growing up. That's Tatiana Wilkinson's second favorite in order. Her favorite heroes. Spider-Man. You know why I like the Marvel heroes? We were talking earlier before about this. Because they're human. They're vincible. They have human qualities and insecurities and idiosyncrasies that make them usually, to me, more relatable, because they've got actual people problems. Like Peter Parker's got to figure out how he's going to do his homework, how he's going to get his homework done and defeat the Lizard all within the next 6 hours. So there's he's got real problems, Depressed Man is a hero. You know which hero that reminds me of? One Punch Man. One Punch Man, I think his name is. He's pretty great hero. He's probably the best hero. Always wins with one punch. No matter what, invariably, he will always win with one punch. But somehow they build up the drama to wondering if this guy is going to win with one punch. And you kind of start to doubt if he's going to actually be able to win. But he always wins with one punch. One punch. Bad childhood man. You get the picture. Yeah. You get the picture, man. Wolverine, too. Yeah. I was never impressed with Wolverine as a kid. However, I do like him now. I think that was pretty neat that 6'2" Hugh Jackman changed our perception of Wolverine, and Wolverine's supposed to be a shorty. Little short guy. Maybe like a Tom Hardy height type of guy. However, we all liked Hugh Jackman's portrayal, which I thought was pretty good. Oddly enough, I dug all the a-holes Quicksilver and Peter David wrote him. I don't know the context of this. The Brothers Grimm? Oh, The Tick. The Tick is a pretty phenomenal, hapless hero. I like The Tick. I liked what's his name? Patrick Warburton. I like that guy. He's funny. He never opens his eyes. And he always talks like this. And he wants to give you a high five, always. Boss Level 8, I'd like to hear your take on not only the best hero, but your favorite hero ever. Hawkeye. Hawkeye, according to Tinio, that's her favorite superhero. Guy who shoots arrows. Guy who can shoot arrows. Pretty good. Maybe because there's always a reason. Scott Pilgrim. I like Scott Pilgrim. But what about, say, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Man. Hero? Definitely. Cheat on his wife a couple times. So what? He started the civil rights movement. Everybody's flawed. He'd be a Marvel character. He's social change, incredible social change, and incredible leadership. Also had a thing for women. It's fine. A-hole heroes in comics is what I was riffing on. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you know who was a pretty good movie, which wasn't... It's not a bad movie, and I'm surprised that I like this guy's movies, the director of Hancock. The guy who directed Hancock with Will Smith, he also directed Battleship, and he directed Spencer. He directs movies that are just kind of like macho meat and potato movies, but I don't know. I kind of like them. I don't know why. He hits all the movie things when you watch a movie. Iceman from Generation Kill. Oh, got you. Peter David created Professor Hulk and the Pantheon arc. I gotta check that out. That's why Tinio is an expert on this. She's got all the comics and all the recommendations and has read all of them. She's read all of the comics. So she's off watching Robin right now, though. It's much better. I don't blame her. That's fine. The Tick. Girls with the Dragon Tattoo. Good hero. I'm trying to think of other heroes. Do you like the heroes that are also, let's say, hapless kids? Because they like the Goonies. Are they the heroes of that story? Stay frosty. Heard they're going to make the Goonies sequel, which I am interested in seeing. I wonder how they're going to do that. I wonder if Josh Brolin is going to be Thanos in that. He should just go ahead and be Thanos again in everything. I like that in Deadpool 2, he was called out for being Thanos, which was funny. Let's see. Writing Nomad was a cool character. Ongoing series. I got to check out Nomad. I'm behind. I used to have a Spider-Man subscription as a kid. And then I had, let's see, The Flash, Thor, Superman, the Hulk. Hulk was pretty good. Hulk had some interesting arcs. Now, is the Hulk a hero? Why do we like the Hulk? He seems like a reckless individual. He seems like he'll just break everything. He'll smash, if you will. I think it's funny that my favorite line in the Avengers is when Captain America, when they actually assemble for the first time, they actually become the team during the final battle in Manhattan. That moment, they all become the team, and Captain America gives everybody their job. He becomes captain of the team. And he says, "Okay, Tony, I need you up there. Hawkeye, look at the corners. Black Widow, do this, and Hulk, smash." It's one of the greatest movie moments ever. My favorite. I can watch that over and over again. Why is it that those movies always hit the buttons? They hit the right buttons. For me, anyway. Maybe some people roll their eyes at it. But I roll my eyes at you rolling your eyes at it. Let me tell you something. I was running yesterday. It's still permitted to run. You're still allowed to go outside and run because it's an essential activity to exercise. You have to still wear a face covering. You have to still distance yourself 2 meters. And for those of you in America who have not adopted the metric system, which is a much better system, guys. You may not like it, you may feel stubborn, but the metric system is way more intuitive and smart than 12 inches is 1 foot, 3 feet is 1 meter. We don't need that. You got to stay 2 meters away from people. That's roughly 6 feet at least. So imagine there's a bubble around you that is 6 feet in every direction. You have to keep that distance. Now I'm running, see, on the street. Running away from people. Got a mask covering my face like a beekeeper's mask. And I run past the park. Right up the road, it's like a mile or two up the road. And on this road, you can stay like a healthy 20 feet away from any human being that you pass. But when I got to the park area, the park was way more densely packed than it is when there isn't a pandemic. And then that was that moment I said to myself, we're leaving this up to people to fix. That is why we are all doomed. The efficiency of the transmission of this particular virus is unlike anything that Anthony Fauci, director of the Human Health Services National thing, says. He said this is like unlike he's not seen a virus that is more efficient at transmission than this one. You guys, the masks do not replace the social distancing. You need to not social distancing, it's physical distancing, because right now we're socially hanging out. We're socially closer than we normally are. However, these people in the park are throwing balls back and forth and running around, and I'm just like, I can't even, I don't wanna, I shouldn't try, I give up. And it's not those people that I'm worried about, because you know what? They're going to be blissfully spreading this thing, potentially, to other people who will die. And I'm just like, good God. Good God. Good golly. That's what I say to that. Just stay away from each other, but stay close. But stay physically far away from each other. Goonies sequel. That's what I hear. Richard Donner, by the way, directed the Goonies. He's about 973 years old. I actually went and saw him do a Q&A after Lethal Weapon, a showing of Lethal Weapon 2 years ago, 3 years ago maybe. I enjoyed the heck out of that. He said that he's got an idea for Lethal Weapon 5, and he still wants to make it. And I hope that idea is they get Mel Gibson to not be anti-Semitic. I wonder how they're going to do that. It's going to be pretty impressive. That would be a heroic action, if you ask me. Depends on which Hulk persona. Yeah, let's talk about the Hulk. The Hulk, there's the Gray Hulk, there's Joe Fixit Hulk, there's, he's like a gangster in Vegas. There's all different types of Hulks. I kind of lost track, to be honest, in the 90s. If I'm going to be honest with you, because normally I have to say, to be honest, for you to get to understand that right now I'm honest, but usually I'm not. But to be honest, let me qualify this next statement for you to actually believe the words that are coming out of my mouth. I lost track of the Hulk in the 90s. I was like, he's gray, he's red, he's smart, he's dumb, he's big, he's small. I couldn't keep up. Civil War, Spidey, Black Panther, and Ant-Man made me as happy. Yeah, they were all introduced in Civil War, kind of. Well, Ant-Man had his own movie before that, I think. Interested in the characters. But Spidey and Black Panther both introduced in Civil War. Pretty impressive into the MCU. I like that Spidey, as a hero, particularly in Civil War, says his thing, says with great responsibility. Sorry, with great power comes great responsibility. He says that in Civil War, but without literally saying it. He's like, well, you know, I figured if I have these powers and bad things happen, and I don't stop it, it's just as bad as if I did it. And I love that Tom Holland's approach to the character is to have a Queen's accent, because Spider-Man lives in where does he live in Queens? I forgot. It's a stop on the LIRR. Carroll Gardens. No, wait. Forest Hills. I forget. But he lives in Queens, and he's got the accent, and it's pretty close, pretty accurate. So when I watch that, I like that moment in Civil War when Captain America says, "Hey, kid, where are you from?" And he's like, "I'm from Queens." And he's like, "Hey, Brooklyn. Even though I want to kill you right now, we're still friends." Civil War is kind of an interesting watch, because they're all like, "We're going to kill each other, but not really kill each other. Not like we're not going to murder each other to death. That would be insane." To the credit, felt the museum gallery auction scene with the cloak and dagger interactions took place. I don't remember that. Is that from the first? Jamaica. Is Spider-Man from Jamaica? I know the stop Jamaica. Jamaica, Queens. I know the stop Jamaica is the one I would always fall asleep right before getting to, which is like usually the transfer when I would go from Bayshore or Islip or Great River. I would take the train, the Long Island Railroad, into the city, and there's usually an express that changes at Jamaica or Babylon, or both. And about 10 minutes before you get to Jamaica, the train just starts to go real slow and rocks you, and I would always fall asleep because it'd be real slow. And then Jamaica, Queens. Next stop, Jamaica. Long Island. Good God. I grew up on Long Island, folks. And you're going to want to get out of there if you're ever there. I mean, there are beautiful parts of Long Island, but the people. But that's true of any place, really. I'm not going to just crap on Long Island. There's incredible bagels and pizza there, but the people. No, I'm kidding. My parents live there. And my whole family lives there, except for me. I got out. I don't, it's good I hear it's nice for some people. I call it Ohio, but with a New York accent. That's Long Island for you. And good pizza. Oh, Batman versus Superman. We're going to talk about that. What did you guys think of Batman versus Superman? Did you think it was as much of a train wreck as I did? There were parts I enjoyed, and then there was Jesse Eisenberg. There were good parts, and then there was Doomsday, which just they tried to cram every single thing into that one movie. And they even started filming the movie before they even had Wonder Woman in the movie. They were like, "Oh, well, let's have Wonder Woman." And they're like, "Oh, let's have Doomsday." I like the idea of turning Zod into Doomsday, because Doomsday is a Kryptonian, I believe. If my memory serves, Doomsday, he is a Kryptonian. He's a Kryptonian uh, made thing, I think. But yeah, Long Island is EPMD, Public Enemy. Will, funny that you say that. EPMD is from the town I grew up in, Islip. Rakim, I don't know, but Public Enemy, true story. My mom retired as a teacher 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago now. She taught in Roosevelt, Long Island. She taught in the high school that Public Enemy graduated from. Chuck D and Flavor Flav. Not only did they go to that high school, now this is one high school that all of these people went to, and they're all incredible, iconic people now. It's like a really challenged school district. It's got it has a lot of issues. Like my mom would have to go home almost regularly because there was a bomb threat. So it's not like the nicest school, and they had metal detectors and stuff like that. But Public Enemy went to this high school. Eddie Murphy went to this high school. The Eddie Murphy. Howard Stern. Howard Stern, who goes on the radio and talks about how much he hated his high school. That's the high school my mom taught at, which is hilarious. So she knows a lot of staff members who were there during the time, like when she started at that high school 25, 30 years ago, that knew these people. They knew Eddie Murphy and Dr. J. Dr. Julius, well, just Julius Irving. He wasn't a real doctor. But Julius Irving, Howard Stern, Eddie Murphy, and Public Enemy went to the high school that my mom happened to teach at for 25 years, 30 years. So I'm pretty familiar with some like Long Island lore, but it's pretty interesting how that school district turned out so many like really huge heavy hitters in the entertainment world. I think it's because it was just so it's just a very difficult. It's the school from Lean on Me. Basically, there's people carrying, like teachers carrying around baseball bats, trying to inspire people with Bill Withers songs. Yep, Roosevelt. Yep, Howard Stern always complaining about how much he hated going to Roosevelt. And there's a piece on 60 Minutes from 10 or 15 years ago where he goes to the high school and he's standing in the parking lot. And he's talking about how much he hated the school. And I'm like, that's where my mom, I've been to that high school a million times to like, just for functions, because you know, my mom's a teacher. So, yeah, Wyandanch. All right, now so Wyandanch. Now we're getting to some Long Island lore, but we only got a couple minutes left. Wyandanch is actually the town adjacent to where I went to high school. So there's Bay Shore, Brentwood, and Wyandanch is right in that mix. And Long Island is pretty segregated, guys. I hate to say it. People from Long Island don't realize how segregated it is. And Wyandanch is not a, it's like, it's its own little bubble, and people keep pushing that bubble to be smaller. But yeah, there's a Queen Latifah. She's from Long Island. And my personal hero, LL Cool J. Now I'm going to leave you with this story about LL Cool J, which I think is pretty incredible and heroic in real life, because we've only got about a minute and a half. LL Cool J, just a few years ago, and you can Google this and listen to the actual 911 call, heard some commotion downstairs in his house. He got his whole family to go into like a safe room in his bedroom, and he found an intruder in his kitchen. And I don't know if you know this about LL Cool J, but he is supremely jacked, and he also plays a cop on TV, which I think helped him beat the living snot out of this dude who was invading his home and coming at him with a knife or something like that. So LL Cool J from my hometown, Bay Shore, beat the crap out of this dude, was a hero, saved his family, restrained the guy. I think he like broke his cheekbone or something like that. Rightfully so. I don't condone violence. I hate violence. However, if someone is going to attack your family, be like LL Cool J and step in, Be an actual hero. And listen to that 911 call. It's pretty funny. He's like, yeah, there's a guy in my kitchen, but I handled it. I took care of it. Rightfully so. Central Islip. See, I grew up. See, these are all the Islips: Brentwood, Bayshore, Islip, Central Islip, Sayville. They're all in the township of Islip. If you wanted to know this, guys, Indiana Jones is Jimmy James' favorite hero. Indiana Jones is pretty incredible. They're gonna come out with a new one, and Harrison Ford's gonna be 800 years old in it. But thank you for joining me, guys. I'll see you on Monday at noon. I'm Aristotle, full throttle. Throttle. You bro, know the throw. See you later. I can't even say my own name. Guys, it's just me and you guys left here on YouTube. You're only allowed like 1 hour a day on Instagram. So those guys are missing out on this bonus material that you guys get to watch. This is bonus. I'm just giving you some bonus. Aren't we all so lucky? LL Cool J is personal trainer. He's a beast. Yeah. Oh, well, Tatiana, your friend was LL Cool J's personal trainer. Yeah, he will knock you out. You know why? Because his mama said knock you out. That was one of the first rap songs I learned all of the words to. Yeah, I love that story about LL Cool J. I think that he's not messing around when he says he'll knock you out. Yeah, don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare him to the rest. That'll all get sliced and diced. Competition's paying the price. I know this. I know this about LL Cool J. He doesn't seem like a punk. Pretty good. He's going back to Cali. He's the OG. Original gangsta. It's where we get OG from, pretty much. I'll leave you guys on YouTube with that. Thank you guys for participating in this awesome, lively discussion every day at noon. We're going to talk about these kinds of fun things and just enjoy ourselves and forget about perhaps the tough parts of the day. This is going to be the fun part of the day where we just indulge. Busta Rhymes, also from Long Island. Yes, Jaffe Mustafa. Busta Rhymes is from Uniondale. Uniondale is where I went to college. I went to Hofstra University. Here's a fun story about Busta Rhymes before I go. I was working on a music video. It was one of the first music videos I ever worked on back in the day, just as a PA, a production assistant. Back then, I don't know if this is still true about music videos because I don't work on them anymore for various myriad reasons. But back then, music videos were 24-hour shoots. So they would just knock out the whole video in 24 hours. Every setup. So instead of doing a 2-day shoot, you started at 9 a.m. on one day and ended at 9 a.m. the next day, or 10 a.m. the next day, because an hour or 2 hours for each meal. I was working on a music video for Fat Joe, featuring, guess who? None other than the sexual predator himself, R. Kelly. I worked on this video, Fat Joe featuring R. Kelly. This is a while ago. And there's interesting things about this story. 3 interesting things, I'd say. Probably the most relevant interesting thing is that back in the day, if you watched a rap video, did you ever notice that if you saw a rap video, there would be like 15 other rappers just appearing in the rap video, just hanging out at a party? So the vibe of this video was Fat Joe at a party wearing a fur coat. They're jumping. You can watch the video. You can go and watch the video. It's out there. So Fat Joe featuring R. Kelly is the thing. There's a scene in the video where R. Kelly is pouring out 2 bottles of Cristal champagne in the driveway, and it was real. They were just really wasting hundreds of dollars worth of champagne. He's pouring it out, 2 bottles, and he's singing his part, and then they handed him 2 more bottles, and then they did another take of him pouring them out, because that's what you do with very expensive things. You waste them. And during this scene, when they were shooting this scene in the front of this big, huge palatial home in Old Westbury, Long Island, what pulls up but a tangerine-colored Lamborghini. And as this tangerine-colored Lamborghini pulls up, and my job, being a production assistant, is like, hey, who are you? I need to know who you are. The window rolls down, and it's none other than Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes showed up, and I was like, well, hello, Mr. Rhymes. You can park right over here, sir, Mr. Rhymes. Of course you're here. You are from the next town over. So why wouldn't you show up? Because you heard there was a music video being shot. And so he got out of the car and then appears in the video. So you could actually see him in the video. He was there for about 40 minutes, rolled up with his Lamborghini, and then was in the video. However, I have a gripe with Mr. Rhymes ever since then. I've got him in check right now because he knows he's got information on a whole thing about someone who got killed, but he's all snitches get stitches, so he doesn't snitch. And he has actual information on someone who's been murdered, and he will not divulge that information. So since I heard that, I've been no longer a fan of Busta Rhymes. Second interesting thing about this music video that I shot, back in the day, it was on the same exact day. The day we wrapped, the morning after, the 9 a.m., the morning after we wrapped, is the exact same day that Aaliyah, unfortunately and tragically, died in a plane crash. Now, if you know anything about R. Kelly, it's that he's a sexual predator. That should be the first thing that comes to mind. Secondly, he was married to Aaliyah. He was married to Aaliyah when she was 14 and he was like 30. So I was working with R. Kelly the day that his former wife died. Crazy coincidence. Weird. Also, her brother Rashad was in my film class in college. Third interesting thing about this. Yeah, it's nuts. Third interesting thing about the location in which we filmed. It was literally the next house, next door. When I was in a rock and roll band for several years called Veda, you can Google that, Vaeda, was rock starring, doing rock and roll shows with the kids, playing rock and roll music for the kids. I had a singer, and my singer had a wife, and his wife had a family, has a family, that lived in the house next to the house we shot that R. Kelly video at. Next door. She lived next door, and we would rehearse. We'd bring all of our guitaring equipment and drumming equipment, and we would rehearse in the basement of that house. Years after I worked on that video. We hung out and basically lived in this house in the basement as a band, rehearsing for big shows and pretending and imagining playing giant stages and eventually doing that. But it was interesting. I was like, hey guys, next door I shot a thing years ago with R. Kelly's and Fat Joe's, many of them. I was so tired. Also, maybe this is a fourth little side note, but that was the week that the song by Afro Man, Because I Got High, was #1 in the country. First song that not only didn't have a proper recording, it was just a live performance. The artist, Afro Man, didn't even have a record label or anything. He just got up on a stage, sang his song. It was recorded by the venue. It became #1 in the world. And he didn't even have a record deal or a record contract or anything. And it was the first time that's ever happened. Afro Man. So that whole drive home, I was falling asleep because I would have been up for 24 hours. And I had to clean up all the garbage because I was a PA. So I spent like an additional hour cleaning up all of the trash bags and throwing them in a dumpster because PAs. You know what I say about production assistants? What's the difference between a production assistant and a dog? People get upset if you kick a dog. But on my drive home, All I did was hear that song over and over again in my head. I was gonna clean my room, then I got high. Da, 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 all day, just in my head. Because after your brain is fried and you hear the same song by R. Kelly and Fat Joe for 24 hours straight, you try to like hear another song. And weirdly enough, that other song got stuck in my head. I actually heard of your band years ago because a band I locked up with in Kansas City got a cease and desist because their name was Veda. Yes, I can tell you that story. I will tell you that story, Will, about the band Veda and my band Veda. I would like you to know that it has a happy ending. I would like you to know it had a very tumultuous beginning. My band Veda started in 2003. I might get a little worked up during the story because it's a little bit of an emotional journey for me. My band Veda, Vaeda. I was actually pulling out pictures last night because I was talking to a couple of my band members. This was us. We was children. I don't know if that's gonna focus. I don't know if you can see this. We was children. That's me. I got the fro. We was a rock band. We were playing CBGBs there. This is me. Look, it's like I'm playing show and tell. That's me playing Rockstar Taste of Chaos. I mostly played it floating in the air. Rockstar Taste of Chaos. We played with 30 Seconds to Mars and the Used and all the. It's research, this is like backstory if you're interested in doing this. But the story about Veda versus Veda is we were in Los Angeles. We had left our lives in New York. We came to Los Angeles. We were working with a band. I don't know if you heard of them, but they're called Hoobastank. And they wanted us to record songs and write songs. And they had just won a Grammy for a song called The Reason. And that song, it was big. You probably heard it. But they were like, we're going to produce you. We want you guys to be the next Hoobastank. Sure enough, so we came out here to LA and we started writing lots and lots of songs, which eventually became a couple albums worth of material. One of them, three of them you can purchase. While we were out here schmoozing with bands, which was pretty cool, we were hanging out with like all kinds of bands you might have heard of. And they were like, yeah, we were emoing it up, Will. We were up in that scene. We were crazy up in there. Hanging out, it was surreal. All right, let me tell you, I grew up listening to bands like Incubus. And then hanging out at a party with Incubus was, I know it sounds like name dropping. And it kind of is a little bit of name dropping. But it was a weird time in my life. This is a capo for guitars. And it was a cool time. So we started playing a bunch of shows. We started playing shows in Arizona, all the way up to Seattle, and then back. And then we just kind of kept touring up and down the West Coast, building up a following so much that we actually noticed that a band called Veda was on tour with a band called Thrice. Now, Thrice was a big band at the time, very exciting, awesome band. The Artist in the Ambulance is one of my favorite albums ever. And we were like, wow, there's a band called Veda on tour with a band that like would go really well. Like it would be really cool if we were that Veda on the tour. But we were like, it's okay. They have the same name. That's fine. We're not in the same like world necessarily. Yeah, Incubus is incredible. We weren't in the same world, we thought. And then fast forward a few months into the future, and we played this venue in Corvallis, Oregon, and there was nobody there. Nobody came to see us. And the promoter of the club said, yeah, I thought you guys were Thrice. How come you didn't bring anybody to come see you? And we said, oh, you thought we were that other Veda. So we came here, and there was confusion in the marketplace. and you were confused and you thought we were. So we were like, uh-oh, this band called Veda actually is affecting our situation. And then I did some research and I saw that we had been a band already for like 3 years at that point, and they had only been a band for about 1 year at that point. So I said, hey guys, we actually peacefully and nicely in the very beginning were like, hey guys, we noticed that we have the same name and we're both rock bands. And then they said, well, we went on tour with Thrice, so we're cool and you guys suck, and go suck an egg and go piss off with your little band. We're cool because we're on tour with Thrice. And then they did a lot of this and they did a lot of this, and then we were like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. Hopefully this won't cause confusion. And then eventually it did. And then we said, oh, so guys, yes, this is very early beta stuff. Yeah, you probably did hear about my band because of this, which is unfortunate because it's just it's a unfortunate situation. So we said, hey guys, listen, we've already got like albums out on the radio and we've been touring under the name Veda for 3 years now. And because you guys also are called Veda, we can't, like, it's peeing in our cornflakes right now because we've got nothing but the name of our band and we've been touring for 2 years straight, putting our name out there. And it would have been, I mean, in retrospect, it wouldn't really matter who changed the name, but somebody had to change their name. Our name was trademarked and copywritten already. So they were like, okay, well, you've already got a trademark and copyright. We're going to change our name, but you guys are a-holes. And we were like, we're not a-holes. We just have the same name, and it's causing us problems. And we've gone through the trouble of trademarking and copywriting and putting out music under this name for years now. And then, sadly, Vedera, they changed their name from Veda to Vedera, went on their MySpace page at the time and were like, this big rock and roll band from Los Angeles said that if we don't change our name, they were going to sue us. And we didn't say any of the things that they said. It perhaps came across that way. Maybe they interpreted it that way. We did not do that. It was unfortunate and sad. And all of their fans got angry with us. Justifiably, I guess, but not fully justifiably, because we were not asking them to change their name. They said, well, you guys have the trademark, so we are going to change our name. Now that was the tumult. That was the sad part. The happy part is me and Oliver, the drummer of Veda, my band, 2 years later, went to go see Vedera play. And we went up to them personally as people and said, hey guys, water under the bridge. We would like to extend an olive branch and become friends with you guys. And, or at least not become friends, not demand your friendship, not demand your forgiveness, but just apologize for the way that things went down. So we connected with them on a human level because it felt very distant the way it went down, and we never interacted with them personally, just their manager. So that's that story. We connected with them. We actually met up with them on the night they got signed to Epic Records, which was a good night. It was in Manhattan at the Knitting Factory. So that is the 15 degrees of separation of that story. And it does bring up a lot of emotion, because it was tumultuous. It didn't have to necessarily go down the way it did, but all is well that ends well. Usually. Yeah, POD. Here, I had a couple beers with POD. That was fun. With Sonny and them. With Sonny and all of their dreadlocks. Yeah, there's like this small circle of bands that all went to like Calabasas and here Incubus, Hoobastank, and POD. And interestingly enough, I think they're from San Diego, but No Doubt was also in the circle. It was a fun, interesting rock and roll time. It's very much like the movie Almost Famous. When I watched that movie, I'm like, this is a documentary. I have jumped off a roof on a tour. Yeah, the thing about band members and having a band is that when you have a band, you have to deal with other people. Yeah, the Epic deal. We met them the night they were offered that deal, and we congratulated them and hoped and wished them well. And 6 Degrees, man. Lots of stuff going on in the traveling tales. Many stories to tell. But that'll be it for today. I appreciate you guys spending your time with me. We'll do this every day at noon. Bring your coffee or bring an ice cream cone, whatever you like. Wow, yeah, I remember Pure Volume. Vedera, they're a good band. Oh, I'm going to leave you with this after I've left you with 5 things already. I'm good friends with Josh Sturm and Jason Sturm, who were in a band that we toured with many times called Kairos. And Josh started seeing Lacey from a band called Flyleaf. And we were like, wait, Josh is dating Lacey from Flyleaf after you guys played that one show with them? So then so I'd known Kairos for 2 years at that point. And then Josh started dating Lacey. And then Lacey and Josh got married. And now Lacey and Josh have 2 children. But Lacey left the band Flyleaf. And guess who replaced her? Kristen from Vedera. So there's a circle of bands, including a band called Cage 9 that I was in for a stint. A band called Cage 9. The singer of that band is the drummer for Kairos. The singer for Cage 9's brother is the drummer for Kairos. So Drew, the drummer for Kairos, the band having Josh on guitar, who is now married to Lacey from Flyleaf. Evan, Andrew's brother, is the singer for Cage 9. Check out Cage 9. They rock. I got to be lucky enough to play with them and go on a tour with them. It was lots of fun. And so, and not only, it gets crazier. Not only has Cage 9 got Evan, but Evan was the guitar player for Power Man 5000 for several years and their producer. So Evan produces Power Man 5000. And if you know about Spider from Power Man 5000, the singer, his broham, his actual brother from the same mother, is Rob Zombie. So Rob Zombie, Spider, brothers. You got White Zombie, Power Man 5000. Power Man 5000 guitar player is the singer for Cage 9. The singer for Cage 9's brother is the drummer for Kairos. The drummer for Kairos' guitar player is married to Lacey from Flyleaf. Lacey left Flyleaf and was replaced with Kristen from Vedera, which was formerly known as Veda, which was the band I was in. And that is how you get a crazy circle of rock and roll bands, not unlike how Green River is connected to Pearl Jam. But that's a bigger scale. Yeah, that's the world. Check out Cage 9. Fun band. Great stuff. Evan's a good guy. He's an incredible musician, incredible guitar player, and also incredible producer. Yeah, sorry to hurt your brain, Tatiana and Will, but this is what happens in life. Many paths cross, and many things happen, but it all depends on how you handle it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and I promise, every day is gonna get better. except for some days. Some days are going to suck, and some days are going to suck worse than other days. However, just forget those days and remember the good ones. I'm Aristotle, full throttle, you bro in the know with the fro. And I'll see you later.